Hi everyone. I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different today. Sorry about outside because someone's mowing their lawn right now. So yeah. Um, I'm gonna be reading from Joshua 29 verse 11. Yeah, we're reading from the Bible today. A little bit different. So the word says, okay. For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you future and hope. Um, I like this what he says right here because I was just watching the Bible Project. If you don't know what the Bible Project is, I will leave a link down below. Basically, is a the Bible Project is basically a series of things about the Bible, and the way that they do it is that they break everything down so you can understand them. And so they make like videos where like a little animation. It's an animation about each part in the Bible. Like for example, I just got finished watching one about Esther, and I love that book. That book is amazing. The story is beautifully written because here's the thing, they was explaining this, that God's not in the book of Esther, but he is. The reason why he's not in there is because he wants to show how people in general, um, how they make their own choices and how it always lead back to God. So basically, it's like this: Esther and her uncle end up making a choice to become to be in a beauty pageant. Come to find out, um, it's for the king, and a whole bunch of other stuff happened. And towards the end, Esther reveals to the king and his assistant that she's Jewish. Meanwhile, before that, um, his assistant tells the king that, hey, we should get rid of all the Jews. Now I mean like move them out or whatever. I mean kill them. So he was planning on killing all the Jews and everything. And when Esther revealed that she was a Jew and everything that happened, her uncle ended up finding out everything that happened, that his assistant wanted to kill all the Jews. So the king ended up killing him. So yeah, and that worked out not exactly how a person would want it, but it worked out for their good because Esther's uncle ended up not only helping the Jews, but before he helped the Jews, he helped the king because the they were going to basically kill the king. He was someone was going to poison him, and thanks to Esther's uncle, he didn't get poisoned. He didn't die. Okay, and that's my sister. um, Great thing is about this is that you can see that even though God's not there, He shows up, and from the king to Esther and on and on and on. Even though there was bad that was happening, God worked it out for their good, which is really amazing, which is why I love this book so much.
Step back. Notice how this whole story has been designed. The story was full of moments of ironic reversal, but we can now see the whole story is structured as an ironic reversal, right down to the details. So the king's splendor and feasts and decrees are mirrored by Mordecai's splendor and feasts and decrees at the end. Esther and Mordecai, they first saved the king, but now in the end they save all of the Jews. Then you have Haman's elevation and edicts and banquet that gets reversed by Mordecai's elevation and edict and banquet. And then at the center you have Esther and Mordecai's planning scenes, and then Esther's two banquets that act as a frame around the greatest moment of reversal in the whole story: Haman's humiliation and Mordecai's exaltation. Beautiful. Another fascinating feature of this book is the moral ambiguity of the characters. There's a lot of drinking and anger and sex and murder, of which Mordecai and Esther are a part. Not to mention their violation of many commands in the Torah, like marrying Gentiles or eating impure foods. And so the story's not putting Mordecai and Esther forward as moral example, as if it endorses all of their behavior. But they are put forward as models of trust and hope when things get really bad. And so the book of Esther comes back to that question with which we began: why God is not mentioned. The message of this book seems to be that when God seems absent, when his people are in exile, when they're unfaithful to the Torah, does this mean that God is done with Israel? Has God abandoned his promises? And the book of Esther says no. It invites us to see that God can and does work in the real mess and moral ambiguity of human history.
There is another book, I think it's I'm reading the sides, so because they'll have a playlist on everything. So it was Ezekiel. Ezekiel. No, wait, no. Is it Ezekiel or Ezra? Nehemiah. So it's in one of those that God does the exact same thing. They don't really talk about it, but he's there. But in a spiritual way. He's there when he's not really physically there. He shows up in, like they say today, in churches, like mysterious ways. And it's really awesome how he does this, because it's like today, even though we might not see God, he's still there. And I think that's really awesome how that plays out. And we have the free will to do things, but also we have to think and look inside our hearts that, hey, God is still there making the plan for us the best way. He knows how. Yeah, they're gonna be stumbling blocks, but either way, like who was it? I think it was Jonah. Yeah, Jonah, I think, who was in the belly of a whale. Even though even though he had free will and God told him to go over this way, but he went the opposite direction, and then everything went crazy. And then it's like so weird. He ended up asking, he died, and basically he wanted to commit suicide just off the bat, because he didn't want to go to where God wanted him to go, which was to basically tell these people about God, obviously. And he did not want to do it. He got on a boat with all these people. He told them to throw him off the boat, let him die, let him drown. Basically, like when they explained it, innocent men has blood on their hands from him. So they throw him over over the ship or over the boat, technically speaking, because it's not a ship. And what God did was He took an animal to help him get to where he needs to go. So He took a whale, and the place that God wanted him to go, the whale went and basically had him stay there and prophesize and share teaching about everything about God. And then towards the end, he was talking to God, and then he basically asked God, "Can he die?" And he's yes, he said yes, and he ended up dying. But then God asked a question, and you realize that he's not asking a question to Joshua, he asked a question to us as people, person reading the Bible, which is this like a mirror almost. Um, I'll put it in here somewhere. Maybe like a little clip or something from the Bible Project, because they explained it so well, and it's so awesome. So I'm gonna leave a link to the Bible Project in there. You can read along while you're listening to their animations. Because they have like a thing where like like a read along, basically. That's all it is, read along, and then they have the videos to go with them. So you're reading a scripture, but then they give you, after you finish reading that scripture, they give you a passage from Psalms, and then after that, you get to um go to the YouTube and look at the animation that basically breaks down everything you just read. Or if you don't want to read it, just watch the animation, and it helps you to understand it more. So, which means you're still end up reading it because they give you the whole thing, but then again, it's like they don't. Basically, they give you like everything that's in the Bible. So let's say again, like Joshua, give you everything, and then they, like a movie, leave you hanging, and then you have to go read the rest of the Bible, rest of the chapter from there, because you want to find out what happened next, because it's so good. That's the awesome thing. It's just like Job and what happened to him. It was like, yeah, even though he went from up here to down here, talk to God, who's like way up there, and then he went back up to here, and it's like, oh my God, and it's awesome because he went from having a wife and cattle farm basically and a lot of kids to having a better wife than he had before, even more kids, more cattle and animals you ever imagine, and more people, thanking him and helping him with all this new stuff, because it's so amazing how God sets this plan for you, and then something end up just randomly happening, for life, and then you get back way more than you expect. So that's really awesome about how God works, and yeah. So if you want me to do more of these things about the Bible, tell me in the comments down below. Subscribe and like. Liking is only telling me that you want more of me talking about the Bible. And with each time I talk about it, I will put like a little snippet, a little clip from the Bible Project, with the animation, because it's really awesome and I really want you guys to see it. I'm gonna go. So, bye.